then, of course, you can add whatever else you want. But this lesson is on the sea urchin, and we'll begin. And if we look at the shape of it, it's kind of oval. We're going to start with a simple bottom shape. So I'll start you off. Let's find the ocean, and we're going to go from one side to the other side. Now, this is where you make it your picture. You can add as much or as little sand as you want, the ground part of it. So if you want to start, say, anywhere in this, if you find the halfway point, any point between the halfway and the bottom. So you'll make your starting point. Say your starting point's here. Then you find another point anywhere between the halfway point of your paper. So if I look at top to bottom, find my halfway, find any other point between here and there. I'll make mine end here. So if you have 2 points, then you just simply connect them any way you want, a slow curve or a big curve. And I'm just connecting it right together. And this will give our sandy area. Now, if we want to do the sea urchin, we can stick our sea urchin in right in here. So if you have a big area, or you might want to stick your sea urchin in on this area here. So I'm going to start off with a curve for my sea urchin, for the bottom of the sea urchin. And I'm just going to do an end point. So this is an end point and an end point. So give yourself an end point. That's how wide do you want your sea urchin to be. And this is actually a huge sea urchin. I was really excited when I found this. A lot of times we find them about this big or a little bit smaller, but this was just huge. It's very rare to find these huge ones. And actually I was told it was good luck to find this big one. Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to do a slight curve. So I'm going to connect my endpoints down and up. This is a slight rounded curve because I want this to show the curve and roundness of this sea urchin. Now I'm going to do the top area. I'm going to put a straight line where I want my sea urchin to end, and then I'm going to curve down and curve down. And there's a shape of the sea urchin here. Now on the very top, I'm going to put an oval, and I'm going to make the oval sideways, a narrow oval. When I look at the center of this is circular, but when you view it from a 3/4 view or side view, it would appear oval. Now I'm going to do my stripes in color, and this is natural. I did not bleach this. This is the natural color of this sea urchin. Sometimes if you dip it in bleach water, it gets more white. You have it very white with dark. Now, I'm going to curve, follow your curves, curve down and around. These are these stripes I'm putting in. And on this side, down and around. Now this has tons of stripes. I'm not putting in lots, just a little bit, enough to give a pattern. Curve down around on this side, down around on this side, and where it meets in the center you can just kind of go down straight. Now on the back we do see a little bit of, see the stripes coming on this edge here? So they curve to the left, go straight, curve to the right, but these, in this perspective, these are smaller. So look, curve behind, behind, and a little bit behind here. Now the texture on this sea urchin, if you look closely, it's got a lot of little raised bumps, and each one of these little bumps had a short spike on it. So if you want to put in these, you can even do the bumps if you want, rows of bumps. You can do little C's or U's or total circles, that's up to you. And it seems to be in a neat, organized pattern. It's not random. So just little rows, and this is all adding detail to our pictures. And when artists add this kind of fine detail, which is pretty much like patterning, because we're adding the pattern to this, our pictures are going to be more advanced and appear to be better when we add lots of detail. And then you can go ahead, maybe a little bit behind here, Now I'm going to show you close up what I just did. Very neat rows. See the circles coming down. These little textures. You can hear it. It's raised bumps. It's really amazing. And then short little spikes. Just to show it's spiky. And the spikes are used for protection and for movement. And you know, you don't have to put as many spikes in, just so that you get the feeling that it's a spiky. This one was a mistake. I would want to keep them all about the same height. They did not vary when I saw the spikes. And the actual spikes look like this. You don't have to draw this. Let me get another paper. The actual spike, when I looked at it close, it went like this. That's what they looked like. They had a point, and then it was thicker, like that. Okay, now that we've got the sea urchin with all our detail, we can stick in, this is a fan coral. This was amazing. It was really cool. I was so excited to find this. It's actually beautiful. Look at all the detail. Isn't that amazing? Nature's so amazing. And it was attached to some coral, and I found it broken and dead. You're really not supposed to pick these if you find them alive. But this was just floating in the water or near the shore. It was dead. We must have gone right after a storm, because usually you don't find these kind of things near the shore. Okay, so, and I was just using a snorkel, a mask. So give yourself some rock edge, come up, and you can put this anywhere you want on your composition. And composition is how you arrange things on your page. And so I just added a jagged freeform edge for my coral or rock. And then you're going to do the branching systems. Look at that. Now look, it has the main branching systems coming up. So I'm going to add my main branching systems and use your whole page. And they're not a straight line. Look. See how they're formed crooked? It's like trees, mini trees. So you do your main branching systems coming up. And then you can branch out like a tree. I'm going to come off, out like a tree, and go up. Now, I'm going to give my ends. So I want this. See how it ends in a kind of a jagged edge? So my ends would be here. I'm going to give some ends. Say here, here. So give yourself some end points. Here, here, here. So it fans out. That's why it's called a fan coral. Totally looks like a fan. And so then this is where I will end. So I'm going to just jaggedly, see how the ends are not, and actually some of this is broken. But I'm just going to end mine, connect, connect, and end it with a jagged freeform line. Come down, come down, come down. Now, when you fill in all of this, once you get your main fan lines in, then you can work up, and this will take you a while, all these tiny, real intricate lines in here. Now, even if you wanted to switch over to a color, but not now, don't do it right now, but I'm going to show you how to make the pattern first, and then on your own later, you can take time to fill in all of this. But this is kind of like kind of reminds me of a web pattern, but you would continue to build off of this, and then you would bring in these little tiny lines that connect, and they all interconnect together. So you could go down in V's. To make it real simple, you could go down in letter V's, kind of make a letter V, or curves, and then this line would come off. And this is hundreds and hundreds of lines. I would make them bigger, like this, so you don't have to draw as many. So fill up your main lines, and then you can work up Now, I'll stop here because this is how you would make your pattern. Then continue making more lines coming up and off. Okay? Continue coming off of this like branches, like you would branch a tree. And fill this in with tiny little lines, like I'm doing now. Let me show you close up. Tiny little lines, then branch off again and fill in this space. So if you have a big negative space, you're filling it in with tiny lines. So right here, I have a negative space. There's nothing drawn. So what I'm going to do after I fill in all my little branches and connect them, I'll add another line for a branch and connect. And I'll just do this until it's all filled in and connected. And these little spaces on my picture are about 1/4 of an inch.
Whoa.
This is about 1/4 of an inch long. These little lines that I've drawn. So wherever there's a negative space, just fill it in with some of these diagonal lines that form a V, then go up diagonally this way until they connect. Now this will take you a while to fill it all in, okay? Let's go on to the next thing, and then I'll let you on your own finish this. This is a sea sponge, and it's like a tube, and this was also washing around. This is where it connected to the coral. And this is really cool. When I wet it, if I wet this again, it'll become soft again.
But did it die?
This is a dead, all of this is dead. All of these things were once living creatures and they're dead. When I found it, it was dead. Now, look at the circular opening to draw these oval. Stick some ovals in. Then tubes, just bring it down to the ground. Connect it. See how it's thicker at the bottom? Now some of these are huge. These are small examples. These sea sponges can get huge. And they can connect, oval, bring it to the ground. Now that's the one I have here. And you can make this up. You can even add more sea sponges on this side. Another sea sponge. And overlap. Have this sea sponge go behind. This is behind my thing over here. Now, whatever you want to add, this is some, right now we have our fan corals, sea urchins, sea sponges. If you want to add more sea urchins down below, that's fine. If you want to stick in starfish, maybe a tropical fish back here, you decide how you want. This will go right off the page. This is overlapping. I'm going to stick a big fish in back here. Here's some fins in the back. So you design the rest of this the way you want. And I'm going to take some 3rd grade examples right now. And let's see what they've made. I know their pictures aren't finished yet, but we just want to show examples of what we have so far for 3rd grade. And I have some really great fan corals here. And